Some marriages are thriving, others are hanging by a thread, and most fall somewhere in between. But here's what most people don't realize: scientists have actually figured out what makes or breaks a marriage. After studying over 6,000 couples, researchers have found that every marriage falls into one of five types. And knowing which type is yours, well, it could change everything. By the end of this video, you won't just know where your marriage stands, you'll have the tools to make it better. And trust me, the last category, almost no one gets there, but those who do rarely think about divorce. Hi, I'm Jordan Travers. I'm the clinical director at Awake Therapy. And in this video, we're diving into the five types of marriages. But before we talk about how to improve your marriage, let's talk about where you stand. Researchers analyzed over 6,000 married couples and found that every marriage falls into one of five categories. The question is, which one is yours? Let's start from the least satisfying and work our way up. Marriage type number one, the devitalized couple, the most unhappy. This is the lowest category. These couples feel disconnected, stuck, and deeply unhappy. Here's what researchers have found: they are more likely to be younger, less educated, and in lower income jobs. Many of them have been divorced before, and most importantly, they are most likely to be considering divorce in the here and now. For these couples, marriage isn't a source of joy, it's a struggle to endure. But not all struggling marriages are on the brink of collapse. Some couples may not be happy, but they still find a way to stay together. That brings us to the next type. Marriage type number two, conflicted couples. Arguing, but staying. These couples fight a lot. Disagreements, miscommunication, tension, it's a constant cycle. And yet, despite their struggles, they stay together at similar rates to other marriages. Why? Some of them agree on traditional values, which keeps them from separating. Others feel stuck financially or emotionally, and many just don't know how to fix their conflicts, so they just keep going. Their marriage isn't great, but they're still in it. And like devitalized couples, conflicted couples aren't necessarily disengaged, they're just caught in a constant battle. Now, what happens when a marriage moves past conflict and settles into something more structured, predictable, and for some comforting? Well, that's where traditional couples come in. Marriage type number three, traditional couples, stable but old school. These couples are happier than the first two, but their relationship follows a clear pattern. Men work and women take care of the home. Religion plays a big role, and they rarely consider divorce. And for them, the structure works. They find fulfillment in stability, faith, and family roles. But here's the catch: if those traditional roles ever change, say the wife wants a career or the husband takes on more at home, the foundation of this marriage begins to shake. Traditional roles create stability, but they also leave little room for change. And like conflicted couples, traditional couples don't struggle with much disagreement. Why? Because their roles are already defined and they follow them. The man provides, the woman nurtures, and religion often plays a strong role in their stability. For them, structure creates security. But structure alone doesn't create deep emotional intimacy. For that, we need a different kind of connection, one that defines the next type of marriage. Marriage type number four, the harmonious couple. Happy, but with a catch. Now we're moving into healthier marriages. Harmonious couples actually enjoy being together. They communicate well, they have a good balance, and there's just one issue: parenting. Parenting decisions can create unexpected tension, even in the happiest marriages. Researchers found that these couples tend to have fewer children, and when they do, parenting becomes a major source of conflict. But despite this, they're 94% satisfied in their marriage, and divorce is rare. However, when these couples learn to work through conflict together, they reach the highest level of marital satisfaction. And that's where our final category comes in. Marriage type number five, vitalized couples, the gold standard. This is the top tier marriage. These couples don't just survive marriage, they thrive in it. And here's what makes them different: they communicate well, they handle conflict without resentment, they genuinely like each other, they tend to be more educated, financially stable, and deeply connected. And get this, 86% of them never think about divorce. For them, marriage isn't just working, it's flourishing. So, where does your marriage fit? And more importantly, how do you move up? So, how do you improve any marriage? Well, the good news, marriage isn't static. Just because your marriage is in one category now doesn't mean it has to stay there. And research shows that the biggest factor that determines whether your marriage improves or deteriorates is communication. The problem? Most couples get stuck in a pattern. They assume the way they communicate today is the way they have to communicate forever. And that's a mistake. And to prove that, I'm going to blitz through the top 5 ground rules I tell my clients to lay in their relationships. Trust me, these 5 principles have helped the best and worst of marriages. So here they are. Rule number 1, don't judge your partner. When you're talking about frustrations, avoid attacking your partner. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when we argue." See the difference? One creates distance and the other invites understanding. Rule number 2, emotions are neutral. There's no such thing as a wrong feeling. If your partner is upset, don't dismiss it or try to fix it. Instead, acknowledge it, validate it, and sometimes the best thing you can say is just, "I hear you." Rule number 3, balance emotion and logic. It's easy to let emotions drive a conversation, but balance them with reason. For example, if you're upset about a recurring issue, instead of getting caught in frustration, pause and ask, "What's a solution that we can both agree on?" Rule number 4, share your feelings openly. The healthiest marriages have honest conversations, even about tough topics. Holding things might feel easier in the moment, but over time it builds resentment. Rule number 5, speak up in the moment because timing is everything. If something's bothering you, talk about it now, not weeks later when frustration is built up. Bringing up an issue while it's still small and relevant makes it much easier to resolve. At the end of the day, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage, but there is such a thing as an honest one. Instead of trying to fit into some idealized mold, focus on transparency. Because when you and your partner can be truly open with each other, you lay the foundation for a relationship built on genuine love and trust, imperfections and all. And if you're wondering how your marriage ranks, I've linked a marital satisfaction scale in the description. So take it and find out where you stand. If this video helped you, hit like, leave a comment about which type of marriage best describes yours, and subscribe for more psychology-backed insights on relationships. And for those of you who made it to the end, I'm taking requests for my next video. Drop your ideas in the comments and I'll pick one from the first 10 to create my next video. I'm Jordan Travers. I'm the clinical director at Awake Therapy, and I'll catch you next time.